Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Super Bowl 60 at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. We have the 12-9-1 Packers, the 12-7-1 Packers versus the 15-5 Texans. This is Drive Time Football's NFL 2025 season set, and this is the final game of my pre-play playoff project. The Packers, how did they get here? Well, let's take a look. The Packers finished the the season 9-7-1 as the number 7 seed. They go on the road to beat the Bears 23-19. That sends them as the 7th seed to face the Seahawks, who had the top seed in the league in round 2. And in the division round, the Packers defense completely stymies the Seahawks, and they win 17-7. That puts them on the road one more time to face the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles in Philly, and the Packers hold them to 2 field goals. They kick 5 field goals, and they win this game 15-6. The Packers are your NFC champions, and they will be representing in their road uniforms the NFC in today's Super Bowl with a phenomenal defensive run. On the flip side, in the AFC, the league's top defense, the Houston Texans, were the 5th seed as the South champions. They go on the road to face the Steelers and defeat them 23-6. That then puts them on the road to face the league's top seed, the Denver Broncos, where they dispatch them with ease, 26-10. That drops them in one more road trip down to Jacksonville to face an arch-rival Southern foe, in which they dispatch them with prejudice 21-3, as this defense has played brilliantly. This is H-Town Havoc defense, a swarming defense, and the Houston Texans find themselves in the Super Bowl for the first time in their history. Houston came into the league in 2001, I think, 2002. I can't remember exactly which date, but this will be their first foray into the biggest game in professional sports. The Green Bay Packers have been here, done that, won this, won that. However, the Packers haven't won since 2012. I think it's the last time the Packers, 2011, 2012 is the last time the Packers won the Super Bowl. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these teams. Green Bay, Jordan Love, under center, quarterback, had a really solid year, 23 touchdowns. He has been known to take over a game, but he's also been known to kind of have these multi-turnover games. So it can be a bit of a mixed bag for Jordan Love. However, with this running game, support of Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson, I believe they're going to be able to keep the ball safe from this swarming Houston defense. I'd lie. I think Houston's probably going to get a turnover too. They have Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft, Josh Jacobs out of the backfield, and their place kicker is McManus. I believe is the oldest player in the league now, in his mid-40s. All right. On the flip side, the Houston Texans come in here with a third-year quarterback. C.J. Stroud had a brilliant rookie season. In his second year, saw some sophomore dip. This year, again, they've struggled a bit on offense, a little inconsistent. But Stroud, I believe, is a legit passer and a legit quarterback. He can be streaky, and he can light you up if you are not on your P's and Q's. C.J. Stroud had 19 touchdowns in the season for this team. Davis Mills, believe it or not, coming off the bench, had 5 touchdowns, and he's a darn good quarterback in his own right. In my opinion, Davis Mills could start for some clubs in this league currently. Nico Collins is their top receiver, and he is fantastic. He has been the top guy for the last couple of years. They have Higgins, Schultz, Hutchinson also at catching passes. In the backfield, the veteran Nick Chubb, coming off a couple of serious knee injuries, but he's done fairly well this year. Woody Marks, C.J. Stroud can also scramble a bit if need be. The best place kicker in this game is Fairbairn, and he is fantastic. All right, folks. Without further ado, we are going to kick it off. I've already pre-rolled all possessions, so I don't have to do all those secondary, tertiary rolls. I am going to roll an entire handful of dice, so we're going to get our actual offense-defense roll. If it leads to a red zone, we'll go right to the red zone dice. That's why they're red. And then we have our player that might indicate touchdowns, and then we have our distance right there. And again, I'm only doing distance as if teams score from the red zone, so you won't see any long plays. Right? Okay, so here we go. This is Drive Time Football, Super Bowl 60 pre-play. Packers, go to work. No team has a punt or kick return touchdown, so folks, all we're doing here is playing football. And the Packers facing a dominant defense. And it's going to be offense. The Green Bay Packers drive into the red zone, and it's going to be a field goal of 23 yards for McManus. McManus kicked 5 field goals in the last game and won 15-6. So McManus is no joke, as he can win this game for the Packers all by his lonesome. Beautiful opening drive. They settle for a field goal, but to be able to score on their first possession against the H-Town Havoc, that's something for the Packers. All right, we're looking at the defense of the Packers. It is 8. 8 is a punt. Uh-oh. Houston cannot match. And that's not good for them. Here we go. The Packers go to work. The Packers are looking at their offense. 9. It's going to be a punt for them. So again, we're seeing defense control this game. However, McManus still gives the Packers the edge in Super Bowl 60 here in Santa Clara, California. We're going to be looking at the defense, and that is 10. That is going to be a red zone trip. Red zone trip of 5 is going to be a field goal. Fairbairn's going to hit a 35-yard field goal. Fairbairn ties it up with a 35-yard field goal. Folks, first quarter's in the books, and it is 3-3, as both defenses have been brilliant all offseason. Absolutely brilliant. The Packers took a dip when Parkins went out with a knee injury. However, the Packers had a brilliant defense without him. So I think here it's going to come down to which quarterback can break through and get a touchdown. All right, here we go. Packers, second quarter. Packers are looking at offense. 7. That's going to be a red zone trip for them. 5 is a touchdown run, and there it is. Josh Jacobs, 12 yards. Jacobs, 12-yard run. The extra point for these guys can be missed. And oh my land, folks, we have got a game. That's the first touchdown scored against the Texans in, a full game. Broncos did get a touchdown. Bo Nix threw a touchdown pass. So, it is 10-7, or 10-3, but more importantly, the Packers prove they can run the ball and punch it into the end zone. Jacobs from 12 yards out found room. The Texans go to work. They're looking at the defense. 8. That's going to be a punt. And now Green Bay would love to spread their lead out here and put this game in the hands of C.J. Stroud. It's going to be offense. 6. Red zone. 8. 8 is another field goal. Holy cow, McManus makes another 23-yarder. So again, they're not going to take for granted every point. They are going to kick every field goal. In a game that's close, you do not want to leave any points on the field. And I don't blame them. In defensive games, every point puts pressure on the other team. Houston now in deep trouble. They've now fallen behind by 10. Houston offense, 7. Red zone for them finally. 5 is a touchdown run by 60. Where's it at? Where's the little 64? That's going to be it. C.J. Stroud, son of a gun. Stroud runs for 18 yards. Stroud with an 18-yard scramble. And the extra point is automatic, folks. What a play as he breaks containment against a Micah Parson-less defense and sprints to the pylon. Diving into the end zone is C.J. Stroud. Absolutely amazing. The crowd here erupts as, again, Santa Clara, California is considered home in this even year Super Bowl. And holy cow, folks, it is 13-10, and that was their last drive, the Packers. So Houston's going to get one more drive before the half. So later in the second, it's going to be defense 10. That's going to be a red zone trip 7, touchdown pass, C.J. Stroud, 5-yard pass to 5 out of the Nico Collins. So Stroud, folks, looking to get MVPs, had an 18-yard run and a 5-yard pass. PAT's good, and that's going to wrap up the first half. Jacobs and McManus get 10 in the second, but Stroud throws for one, runs for run. It is 17-13. What the hell happened to these defenses, folks? That's genius. This is what I love about drive time football. You think, man, these are all too low scoring. What the hell's going on? No. You got to drop the dice. You got to play enough games, and you see trends develop. It's brilliant. Holy cow. C.J. Stroud with 2 touchdowns, no turnovers here in the first half. He is right now the front runner to be the Super Bowl MVP if things continue. 13-17, Stroud being the difference, and we start the third quarter. Houston gets the ball first. It's going to be defense 4. It's going to be red zone trip. This is their problem. 11. Missed field goal. No, say it ain't so. Fairbairn misses a field goal. A missed field goal. Holy cow. And the Packers have more possessions this quarter. I pre-rolled all possessions, so I wouldn't be messing around with those extra drive rolls. I always pre-roll possessions. Here we go. It's going to be defense 8. Defense 8 is a punt against this brilliant Texas defense. We may see the defenses slow everybody down here now in the second. The Texans' final third quarter possession. It's going to be offense 8. Red zone 2. Field goal. For Fairbairn has a chance to right the wrong, and he makes a 29-yard field goal, giving them a 20-13 lead. But folks, one touchdown is going to knock this up. And we have 2 possessions in the third for the Packers. Here it is. Offense 6 is red zone for them. 7 is a touchdown pass. So now we're going to see Stroud throw a TD pass. Holy cow, to Dobbs, Romeo Dobbs, of 11-yard pass. Extra point is good. There it is, folks. Going into the, we got 1 possession left for the Packers, and I believe it's a tie game. Let's see here, touchdown. Yep, 20-20. Holy cow. Final drive of the third for the Packers as they get the ball back from the Texans. And it's going to be defense. Defense 7 is red zone. You got to be kidding me. They hit the only red zone there, and it's 9. 9 is a touchdown run. Oh, my land. TD run for the one and only Josh Jacobs. That's 2 TD runs for him today, and guess what? 13 yards out. And you know what's important about that? Is that makes him tied with Stroud for the MVP. 2 touchdowns for those 2 guys. PAT's good. Holy cow, 14 points for the Packers in the third and 3 points for the Texans. Holy cow, it's 24. It's 27-20. We have got a ball game, and both defenses have failed to take the ball away as they have both relinquished touchdown red zone drives. Green Bay's been had worse on defense, and the Texans just got had the one time on their own defensive chart, but nobody has produced a turnover. So in the fourth quarter, there will be 3 possessions each. And the first team to steal a turnover is probably going to win this game. Let's find out. All right, we're going to start with the Packers in the fourth because they're leading by 7. Packers go to work. Defense 3. Picked off. There it is. Unbelievable. Love is picked off, intercepted. The defense returns it. And I'll use the defensive dice for this. 8, no return for a touchdown. But there it is. That was the first interception. I said it. The first team to get a pick is probably going to win this game. And let's see if Houston can parlay this into a tie. Houston goes to work on a short field. They march down the field, and they end up having to punt the ball. Oh, no. The Packers get the job done, or I should say, more importantly, Houston can't execute. Oops, the Packers, they go to work. Defense, looking at this defense, 7. Red zone, shit, the Texans give up another one. Touchdown pass. Love throws a second to Nico. Not to Nico, to Romeo gets his second. Dobbs. This one is 11-yard pass. PAT is good. 34-20. The Texans are in deep trouble. They need to score touchdowns on both these drives. Texans go to work. They are now facing desperation here. Defense, 6. Red zone trip for them, 5. Is a field goal. Not good enough. Fairbairn, they're feeling desperate to get any point they can, and Fairbairn hits a 20-yard field goal. No, you should have gone for it, guys. If you were at the 3, you should have parlayed that into a touchdown. The final drive for the Packers, it's going to be defense, 4. That's going to be a punt. And here it is, folks. The Texans on their final drive, somewhat anticlimactic as time is too short based on how many points the Packers have accumulated. This may be a bit academic. Defense, 8. Nope. Turnover, or I should say end of game as time will expire. And that's it. It was a punt, but I'm not there. They wouldn't dare punt. And there it is, folks. Dobbs is the Love was picked off. I thought that was going to turn the tide, but no. As the defense of the Packers force Houston off the field, Dobbs then finishes a drive with another touchdown for the Packers. Fairbairn then gets a field goal. They force another punt by the Packers late. Unfortunately, they will run out of time. End of game, and what a Super Bowl that was. 24-31, 34 points against the league's #1 defense. 17, 18, 19, 20, 23. 34-23. The Packers are the Super Bowl champs. The Texans runner-up. Jacobs had 2 touchdown runs, and Dobbs had 2 touchdown receptions. I can't give it to Love because he threw a pick. So 2 TDs and an interception. We're going to say Jacobs. MVP. Josh Jacobs, running back. 2 TDs. And I'm going to only assume, since they've managed 34 points with only the interception, that he must have amassed a pretty good amount of. Now we know, according to the hidden game of football, the average touchdown drive is 60. I can't remember what it is. I think it's 66 yards. So we could assume for Jacobs to accumulate 2 touchdowns, he probably got 124 yards or something like that, right? So we can estimate based on, I can't remember exactly now. I'd have to look it up in the hidden game of football, but we can estimate he probably had 120 yards rushing for those 2 touchdowns. Incredible. Thank you for watching, everybody. This has been Drive Time Football, PBS, and the Super Bowl. Pre-played the Super Bowl. The Packers find a way to overcome a brilliant defense, and they find a way to score 34 points. By far, by the way, that's the most points scored in the entire offseason. We did have 31 by the Jaguars. And then they're by far the best, the Packers, 23, 17, and 15. This time, against a brilliant defense, they get 34 points. 34-23. I think if the real Super Bowl goes down like this, it's going to be a much lower score. I'm thinking, 20-16 or 19-18 or something. I don't know. I think 34-23 between these 2 teams would probably be a little high in reality. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful week.